Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ed Michalski, Executive Chef with Jack Entertainment at Thistledown Racino. Today I'll be preparing for you grilled chicken with Meyer lemon vinaigrette and asparagus. So to start our grilled Meyer lemon chicken, we're actually going to have 2 airline chicken breasts. The designation of what makes it airline is the fact that it still has this wing bone attached. I'm going to show and demonstrate here how to remove the meat from the Meyer lemon chicken. This one is exposed currently. What you want to do is actually hold the chicken breast safely with your left hand or right hand if you're a lefty, and begin cutting around the bone with the cutting edge of the knife where the joint meets the breast, okay? After you've come through twice and make sure that you cut through all the tendons, you can actually use your fingers and expose the bone. So after that you've cut through the tendons and exposed the bone, you want to use the back half of your boning knife and clean down the bone to remove any sinew or connective tissue. From there, it's a pretty simple process. You'll actually angle your knife towards the joint, pressing down slightly to expose the tip of the bone. Little note here, folks, when handling any raw poultry or protein, especially poultry, you want to ensure that you have excellent safety and sanitation. I'm using single-use vinyl gloves for contact dirt with the raw poultry. As I have done separated the meat from the bone, I will place inside of my marination vessel. Then from there, to ensure that I have excellent sanitation, I'll use a quaternary sanitizer and actually wipe down my cutting board to reduce microbiological growth to safe levels, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, right now I'll actually be preparing for you the Meyer lemon vinaigrette, which we'll actually be using not only with the asparagus, but also to marinate our Meyer lemon chicken. To start our vinaigrette, we're going to begin with Meyer lemon. Meyer lemon is a touch sweeter than a regular standard lemon, more of an orange note to it. When you do a zesting or a juicing rather, you want to ensure that you have some type of a rasp or a fork. First thing that you want to do when you're making a Meyer lemon vinaigrette is ensuring that you roll your citrus fruit. So start on one side of the cutting board and roll the citrus fruit back and forth. What that does is it actually breaks up the individual, more or less, sacs of the juice and makes it a little bit easier to juice. From there, we're going to require the zest of the Meyer lemon. With that, you're going to need a microplane rasp or a standard fine grating cheese grater we have here. I'm going to go ahead and use the rasp or the microplane. You're going to hold the microplane down towards the end of the cutting board and begin in downward strokes while rotating the lemon. What you're doing here is actually releasing the essential oils from the rind of the lemon. Want to assure to avoid the ends of the lemon as they're kind of bitter and you don't really want that inside your vinaigrette. From there, we're going to add the zest of the Meyer lemon to the inside of our mixing bowl. From here, we can begin vinaigrette construction. We're going to go ahead after we've zested our lemon, and we're going to slice each lemon in half. If you have some type of a rasp or a citrus zester, or a citrus rasp, you can actually insert it. Standard fork will do, but you've rolled it, so what you want to do is stick the fork inside, and in a twisting motion, begin to juice the Meyer lemon. Now, notice inside the mixing bowl I have a strainer set, a fine mesh basket strainer. What that's doing is actually catching the fine pulp and the seeds so they don't go into my final Meyer lemon vin, okay? Now, you can sub this out for a standard lemon if you can't find Meyer lemon at your grocery store. You just might want to add a little touch more sweetness with some honey or potentially some sugar. Turbine and or brown is fine. Just to cut that little bit of acidic bite off the vinaigrette. Okay. From here, we're going to add the body components to the vinaigrette, and we're going to add to the lemon zest and the lemon juice 1 teaspoon of minced fresh garlic, 1 tablespoon of minced shallot. So to this, we're also going to add 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Mustard has a natural emulsifying property which helps kind of bind your vinaigrette together. From there, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of honey. I prefer that you get your honey local, something from any local farm or what they have here in an organic sense. Try to get something that's Ohio-based. There's a lot of good bee farms here locally, but I think it adds a certain level of sweetness to this vinaigrette that is much needed. After we've combined those ingredients, we want to begin mixing with a fine wire whip to ensure that we start releasing all the flavors inside of the lemon juice. Okay. All right. Now, the next step in the vinaigrette process is fairly simple. We're going to take 2 parts to 1, 2 parts oil to 1 part lemon juice. I have here about 2 ounces of lemon juice. I'm actually going to incorporate 4 ounces of extra virgin olive oil, very, very, very slowly. The key here in the beginning is to whisk your oil in slowly so you can set the emulsification. The Dijon mustard will actually help stabilize so you don't have improperly suspended emulsification. Now during this mixing process, I'm actually using figure 8s. It helps cut down on splash to reduce the mess. You'll see a certain level of thickness come through in the emulsification as you continue to incorporate air into the lemon juice and the oil. So as we've completed this emulsification, we're actually going to use a rubber spatula and scrape down the sides of our bowl to ensure that all ingredients are inside. We started with the Meyer lemon juice, the Meyer lemon zest, brought in some oil and aromatics from garlic and shallot. From here, we're going to need to season our vinaigrette. So simply put, we're going to use a little bit of fresh chopped parsley. Kind of reminds me of summer. Gives that nice kind of vitamin, folic acid type of bite. From here, we're going to be using fresh cracked black pepper and a little bit of kosher salt. Now, I'm going to begin to toss that to combine. The most important thing that I can recommend for any vinaigrette, whether you're making Italian dressing, Meyer lemon vinaigrette, Caesar dressing, mayonnaise, whatever type of emulsification, you want to make sure when you get to these final stages that you taste and adjust accordingly to meet the palate needs. That's actually perfect. So after our vinaigrette has been properly seasoned and then adjusted and verified for flavor, we're actually going to do a very similar technique and wipe down the outside of the bowl with our rubber spatula, ensuring that all of our ingredients are fully incorporated. From there, I recommend going out to the store and getting yourself a 99-cent squeeze bottle, more or less. From here, you can do a ton, okay? It keeps your vinaigrette safe. You can actually keep it in the refrigerator and use it, and all it's going to take is a couple little shakes to bring it back together if it does happen to separate on you. But you can also, for an application sense, use this for marinades, do plate garnishing with, or actually just pour over your favorite salad. I recommend the wide mouth bottles if able to get. If not, a funnel and a small mouth bottle will actually help out. And apply your lid up on top. A little final couple shakes here just to bring it back together. Ensure the emulsification is suspended appropriately. So after completion of the Meyer lemon vinaigrette, we can now begin marinating our chicken. These are 4-ounce chicken breasts. I'm going to use about 1 ounce to 1.5 ounces worth of vinaigrette to marinate each chicken breast. So in my squeeze bottle, just pour in the Meyer lemon vin. I want to make sure that it's not too much, as it'd be wasteful, but make sure I have a thorough and even coating. From here, I'm going to season with 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. on both sides of the chicken breast. I will then place this under refrigeration, and that's key here to make sure that the chicken is safe. I'm going to bring this here and let it marinate for approximately about 60 minutes. During the time of preparation and marination of our chicken breast, we can actually begin preparing our asparagus. So this is a standard locally grown asparagus. One of the best ways to ensure that you're getting actually the edible section of asparagus is to take both end and tip in hand and then apply some pressure, and you'll actually get the natural snap point. From there, you can actually use this as a guide to assist in cutting the remainder of the bunch. I have pre-portioned out here approximately 7 pieces. Now, these ends you can actually use in a myriad of applications. It is slightly woody, more fibrous towards the end, but it definitely has good flavor. You know, you can add them inside of vegetable stocks and things like that, or trim down slightly and add a little bit for garni for a salad or a soup. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be blanching our asparagus. Here on the stove, we have approximately 1 quart of boiling and heavily salted water. We're going to drop our asparagus in and allow it to cook for approximately 2 to 4 minutes. Really what you're looking for here is an al dente asparagus, as we will be finishing this on the grill. Agitate the vegetable, but I'm still keeping them all the tips facing upward. So it's been about 3 minutes. Our color has really brightened up a lot, okay? So immediately we're going to transfer to a 50-50 ice bath of cold water and ice cubes. We're going to allow this, what this actually does is stops the cooking process, okay, in its tracks and locks in the color. After about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes inside the ice bath, we want to remove our asparagus inside of a draining unit and allow it to drain for approximately 1 to 2 minutes. After that, we'll pat down with a paper towel. So whether on a commercial charbroiler or your backyard barbecue, you want to ensure that you actually take a moment and season the grill. And what I mean by that is take a nice heavy-duty towel, dip it inside of a little bit of blended oil, okay, and rub down each grate. What that will do actually is create a semi-non-stick surface for you to begin to place your proteins on. So after we've seasoned our grill, we're going to begin grilling our Meyer lemon chicken. We do serve these here at Mill Creek Grill skin side on. You can remove the skin if you're actually looking for a little bit more healthy option, but I'm a chef and fat is flavor. So we're going to go ahead and place these chicken breasts at a 45-degree angle, skin side down, ensuring that our bone lays parallel and our skin fully covers the exposed meat portion. We're going to let these grill approximately 2.5 to 3 minutes on the first line. So here we are in the first stages of the grilling process of the chicken. What you want to look for visually is that you gradually see the outer edge of the chicken about 25% or 1/4 come up and turn that opaque white that chicken actually in a fully cooked state looks like. Once you reach that point here on the edge, you can actually, and you've actually achieved a great grill mark. You pick up the chicken from the bone and rotate it exactly 45 degrees. Ensuring your bone is straight. Now, what you'll see also during the cooking process is the chicken breast begins to plump up, which is an excellent sign of good protein cooking. So after you've made your second turn, you want to ensure to continue to cook your chicken for approximately 2.5 to 3 more minutes on this side. All right. So after about the 2.5, 3 minute mark here, you can see what I was talking about earlier, with the chicken beginning to turn that opaque white around the outside. We will then pick our chicken breast up and flip it over. Now, as we've accomplished here, we have a nice diamond pattern, okay? Right here, crispied on the skin. On the chicken's third turn, you're going to want to pour about 1/2 ounce. Make sure it's not too much to avoid a flare-up, but about 1/2 ounce of Meyer lemon vinaigrette to kind of baste the chicken through its cooking process. After the pre-designated amount of time, you want to take your asparagus from the strainer and actually transport onto a paper towel. Kind of roll them around a little bit, and that'll help suck up all the excess water that's left on the outside. Last thing that you want to do is serve a wet asparagus. Now, a thing here to really pay attention to is that you don't really want to press and smash your asparagus. It is cooked and fairly limp, more or less. You just don't want to smash it. You want to make sure that you house the integrity of the asparagus as it should be served. So after an additional 2 to 3 minutes, we're going to head into our final turn. We're going to pick up our chicken breast again and again turn at a 45-degree angle to ensure the back half of the diamond pattern is completed. What you should look for here is a firm texture to the chicken, and we're also going to be validating its temperature to 165 degrees at the end of this 2.5 to 3 minutes. After our asparagus has become thoroughly dry, we're going to begin the marination to prepare for grilling. We're going to apply approximately 1 ounce of Meyer lemon vinaigrette, 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, and 1/8 teaspoon or a pinch of fresh cracked black pepper. What we're going to do is thoroughly incorporate and coat the asparagus to prepare them for the grill. So, as the meat's coming up here and finished on this last 2.5 to 3 minutes, we want to validate its temperature. All poultry needs to be cooked to 165 degrees internal temperature. A couple notes here on how to properly therm or take the digital readout temperature of the chicken breast is actually insert your bimetallic probe into the thickest part of the chicken. Right here we actually have a reading of 177. We're going to remove our chicken from the grill and allow this to bench rest for about 4 to 5 minutes. The reason that you want to let it bench rest is you give it an opportunity for the juices that have been cooking and vibrating in here to kind of settle down, and it actually locks in some moisture into the meat. So always bench rest your meat straight off the grill before you cut into it. While our chicken is actually bench resting, we can go ahead and turn our attention to the marinated asparagus. So again, this was Meyer lemon vinaigrette, a small amount of salt, and a small amount of pepper. Okay? We're going to place our asparagus single layer right next to each other, cross-hatched against the char grill. You don't want to place your asparagus 12 to 6, it'll actually fall through the grate. You want to go 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. You're going to cook on this side for approximately 30 seconds to 1 minute. What you're looking for is a deeply charred line. What this does is add a little bit of Meyer, more of that char grill, backyard, smoky kind of umami flavor that you're looking for to add a different dimension to the asparagus rather than just serving the asparagus blanched or poached. Okay, 30 seconds to a minute has been up. We're actually going to grab our asparagus, seeing those nice little char marks on there, and we're going to turn them over. Now, I traded out my tongs from grilling the chicken as I want to ensure that I touch raw chicken. I don't want to touch blanched asparagus. At home, you should be able to kind of do a quick wash inside with a little bit of soap to ensure that the bacteriological growth isn't transferred or cross-contaminated onto your asparagus. All right, so we've cooked an additional 30 seconds here, and again, we haven't destroyed the color of the asparagus, but we have added the nice char marks and grill lines, which adds to flavor and definitely the visual appeal of the dish. From there, we're going to transport our asparagus. I like to keep all my spears going in one direction. And here at Mill Creek Grill, we use a standard 12-inch round plate. I'm going to focus all of my asparagus down towards 4 o'clock on the plate. Okay? So 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock, 5, 6, 7, 8, and all the way around like a clock face. I will put those asparagus at 4 o'clock. Now from here, it's your choice of starch or grain potentially, whatever you'd like to do. Some nice farik might work in here. A couscous, which is a Israeli pasta, might do well as well. Here at Mill Creek Grill, we do use our roasted garlic mashed potato. Simply put, it's a red skinned potato that's been infused with roasted garlic confit, a little bit of unsalted butter, heavy cream, and roasted garlic cloves. We go directly center into the plate. We then remove our bench rested chicken, and you can actually see some of the juices kind of poured out from this particular chicken breast, but everything in here is nice and settled. We're going to look for our best presentation piece and put that one on last. Now this one here doesn't have as much cross hatching that I can tell, so it's going to go below on the bottom piece of chicken on top of the mashed potato. What we're trying to accomplish here is building for height. It creates a better plate presentation, adds a lot of visual appeal to the dish. We're going to then take our showpiece piece of chicken and we're going to place it cross-hatched, resting directly on top of the mashed potato. Now from here it's final garnish. A small amount of Meyer lemon vin. You can even get artistic with it and do a couple drops around the outside to add some value to the plate. And then here at Mill Creek Grill, we do garnish with a micro intensity mix of microgreens. Adds a little bit of nutritional value, small amount of salad, kind of cuts nicely into that vinaigrette. Then we fini garnish on the back half of the plate with a little bit of chopped parsley to break up the eye a touch. Always want to make sure you wipe the rim of your plate. The rims are for the guests. The rim is for your people that you're feeding. Final arrangement. A couple microgreens around the plate to kind of break up the eye from the top is fine. Add some good variegated color. Grilled Meyer lemon chicken with Meyer lemon vinaigrette and grilled asparagus.